Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is GP file, GP file 2. This is the group. This is typically for the MCQ discussion. Okay. We would read the scenario and we would pick up our best answer. Now look at the first question and the page number 1 of the GP file 2. The first question in front of you is a 5-day-old infant was delivered normally at home, attended by a midwife. He had never been to hospital, now noted to have bleeding from the umbilical cord that seems increasing in the severity, and he has been breastfed since after the delivery. The mother had a normal perinatal period and was diagnosed with the epilepsy 10 years ago and has been taking phenobarbital. Lab suggestive bleeding time is 3.8 normal. Prothrombin time is raised 21, APTT high 46. Which of the following is the most appropriate treatment? First, you would make your diagnosis, then you can pick your answer. Very easy question.
Vitamin K, one injection is given.
Vitamin K dependent
Yes,
bleeding,
this
ma'am.
is
It's
the
called
hemorrhagic disease
VKBD.
of hemorrhagic disease of the newborn. That's why PT, APTT both are raised. So you would give the vitamin K. So answer would be D. Very good. A 15-year-old patient presents for a routine checkup. Lab RBC 5.3, WBC 68 no, high, hemoglobin low, MCV low, MCHC normal, retic count is normal. Which of the following is the diagnosis? Yes, young patient and low RBC with the low MCV. This is a very, very good question. Yes. And giving you a clue, low HB, low MCV, RBC normal. Come on. Is it an iron deficiency anemia or thalassemia? It is typically a case
Iron
of
deficiency.
thalassemia trait. Why iron deficiency anemia? Not look at low HB, low MCV, but RBC count is normal. In case of iron deficiency anemia, the RBCs would be low. That would be microcytic, hypochromic, low HB, low MCV, and MCHC would be low. This is a direct, easy question for the thalassemia trait. And patient is not with the symptoms, patient is for the routine checkup, and then on the CBC you have picked up. What is the ultimately diagnostic test? HB
Hemoglobin
electrophoresis.
F-reproductive.
What is the hallmark diagnostic criteria? Which would be higher side? Hemoglobin A2. 34-year-old man diagnosed with the ileocolonic Crohn's disease and already on the infliximab azathioprine came to the clinic complaining of the perianal pain which the discharge with the low-grade fever for 3 weeks. He has 3 to 4 non-bloody bowel motions a day and he has a perianal induration, purulent discharge on the pressure, febrile patient, blood pressure normal, heart rate normal. Which is the most appropriate next step in the management? If you diagnose it, you can solve it. Yes. Next step in the management, not asking the appropriate. What is this case?
Perianal abscess.
Fistula.
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 MRI of the pelvis.
Yes, you would do the MRI of the pelvis to look for the extension. Very good. A 21-year-old patient presenting with a 4-month history of a itchy skin, rash over his elbow, rash elbow, abdominal bloating, diarrhea, no other medical issue. His cousin has a similar condition, underwent upper and the lower GI biopsy, which is showing the duodenal erosion with the first and the second part of the scalloping. Okay. RBC is lower side slightly. 4. Hemoglobin low. Now look at this ALT, AST. ALT 123, AST 79. And the ileocolonoscopy is normal. Duodenal biopsy showing the villus atrophy. Now it has made a very straight question. Villus atrophy duodenal. With the blotting and the rash, diarrhea. What is this case?
Ma'am, gluten-free diet.
The case is the celiac disease and the management would be
Yes,
gluten-free
ma'am.
diet. Very good. 38-year-old man known to have a Crohn's disease presenting to emergency with the history of 8 to 12 episodes of the diarrhea a day. Over the last 5 days, on examination, he was dehydrated and was distended with the generalized muscular weakness. ECG showing the flattened T waves. What is this electrolyte disturbance or abnormality? Flattened T waves. Vomiting history is there.
Hypokalemia.
Hypokalemia. And if this is the same question, patient is dehydrated with the vomiting and the diarrhea, what is your next step in the management?
Rehydrate the patient, ma'am.
Rehydration. Excellent.
Fluid.
Very
Fluid.
good. A 33-year-old man is known to have a renal impairment, underwent appendectomy for acute appendicitis. On the first day after the surgery, he was complaining of the palpitation. Lab test potassium is high, 6.5, and the ECG showing the total tentative waves. Which of the following is the most appropriate initial step in the management? Very easy question. Hyperkalemia 6.5.
Calcium gluconate.
Yes, IV calcium gluconate. 55-year-old woman had diabetes type 2 for the past 20 years. She's on 1800 kilocalorie a day diet plan and taking metformin 850 mg 3 times a day. Blood pressure 130/85, heart rate 80, glucose fasting is 7.1, HbA1c is 7.8. Both are high. Which should be the target hemoglobin HbA1c? When somebody is having diabetes, what is your target to keep the HbA1c?
Less than
That's the
7.
6, ma'am.
Less than
6,
7.
7.
7,
Less than
6.5, I
7.
think.
Less than 7.
7. 7.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay.
Which of the following finding in the urine indicating the diabetic nephropathy? Earlier sign. Come on. Microalbuminuria, proteinuria.
Proteinuria.
How would you treat it? ACE inhibitor. A 27-year-old woman complaining of a 3-month history of a right upper quadrant pain, fever, malaise. On examination, she's febrile. Her abdomen is soft, tender in the right upper quadrant. Indirect hemagglutination titer for the Echinococcus granulus is positive. E. coli. There would be an image as well. BP normal, heart rate normal, temperature slightly high. Which of the following is the most important step in the management? Now, young patient, right upper quadrant pain, history 3 month with the fever and the malaise. Tender in the right upper quadrant and heme agglutination titer for echinococcus is positive. Direct question. What is this case? Come on.
Hydatid cyst.
Yes, hydatid cyst. Very good. What is the most appropriate management here? They haven't mentioned repeated attacks. They haven't mentioned the
Albendazole, ma'am.
albendazole. Now, what is the advice for you people? Revise the hydrated cyst plan when you would go with the pair, when you would go with the de-roofing surgery. A 55-year-old patient is diagnosed with the gastrointestinal stromal tumor. This is the gist. Okay, size is 4 into 3 centimeter, which is confined to the body of the stomach. Non-surrounding infiltration, no distance metastasis, and the lymphadenopathy. Which of the following is the most appropriate management? Now, they're not asking next step. Appropriate step for treating this GIST tumor. Size is 4 into 3 centimeter. Confined without spread. Confined is the word here. Come on. This is not an adenocarcinoma. If it was an adenocarcinoma, you would go with the option of the gastrectomy. This is a question regarding the GIST, GIST. Confined to the margin, go with the wedge resection. Wedge resection clearing margin. A 60-year-old man came for the follow-up evaluation of the Cushing syndrome. He presented with the new onset of the diabetes and a 15.1 kg weight gain over the last 6 months. Medical history is otherwise unremarkable. He's currently taking no medication, has no exposure to exogenous glucocorticoids in the past year. On physical examination, he's having facial plethora, central obesity, supraclavicular fat pads, purple abdominal stria, multiple ecchymosis in the extremities, initial lab, sorry, showing a 24 urinary free cortisol level was high, greater than 3 times upper limit, BP high, heart rate normal, respiratory rate normal, BMI is high, ACTH is 1, low, cortisol is high. Which of the following is your most important next step diagnostic test? What is this case? Typically a case of Cushing syndrome, huh? With the features. What do you think? Now, what would you go for? Next diagnostic test.
Brain.
Huh?
MRI of the pituitary.
Oh, God.
Ma'am, sit adrenal gland, I think.
Yes. CT scan adrenal. This is a
Adrenal
Cushing
gland.
syndrome primary. Where is
Yes,
the
yes,
clue?
yes.
This ACTH is normal.
Okay. In case of acetate is high, then we
Pituitary MRI.
we need to evacuate the brain. Yes, ma'am. Yes, this
A
one.
28-year-old is a 4-day post-exploratory laparotomy for a perforated acute appendicitis and complaining of a generalized abdominal discomfort and vomiting. Physical examination confirmed a distended abdomen, mild generalized tenderness, and the sluggish bowel sounds. WBC high, X-ray abdomen showing the multiple air fluid level. What is this case? Post-exploratory laparotomy. Post-op day, 4th. This is the presentation. Again, a very straight question. Acute history of
Paralytic ileus.
tension and the vomiting. Yes?
Paralytic ileus.
Very good. Paralytic ileus. What is the management? NPO the patient, pass the NG tube. At 5-year-old boy is brought to clinic by his mother with the history of the impaired language development. 5-year age, impaired language development, impaired intelligence, compulsive repetitive behavior, and the preoccupation with this intimate object. Like he is always preoccupied by his inanimate objects. Which of the following is your diagnosis? Very easy question. Delayed language, repeated behavior, impaired intelligence, restricted to his specific
Autism.
object. Autism.
Autism.
A mother, 3-month-old baby, presents to the clinic, tells the physician that she is going crazy. She states that since the baby has been born, she's continuously visualized snake crawling into the baby's crib at night, and she states that she keep on checking, and she knows that it is not likely to happen, but can't get rid of that thought, and that's why she keep on checking the baby's crib up to 50 times a night. Which of the following is your diagnosis? Yes. Keep on doing the same thing while knowing it's not real.
Obs, obs,
Obsession. Very good.
uh, obsession.
39-year-old woman with type 1 diabetes for 20 years. Please switch off the mic. A 39-year-old woman with type 1 diabetes for 20 years was married recently and she and her husband want to get pregnant. The woman has an hypertension treated with the angiotensin inhibitor and diuretic while maintaining the pressure. Her insulin dosage are all administered through a continuous insulin infusion pump using an insulin aspart. She reported that she would try to become pregnant next month. But look at the result. 24-hour urinary protein 2000, creatinine 88, HbA1c is high 8. What is the next advice you would give regarding the control of the sugar and the congenital malformation? Her diabetes is not controlled, so delay the
Delayed conception
conception
until
until the sugar is controlled.
control.
Otherwise, it can lead to the polyhydramnios, large size baby, congenital disorder, which is called transposition of the greater vessels. A 67-year-old man, a known case of HCV cirrhosis, admitted to emergency with the massive hematemesis. Variceal bleeding is there suspected. On examination, patient is drowsy with the tense ascites. BP normal, heart rate normal, SAT is 95, HB is low, INR is 1.3. Which of the following management option has a greater benefit in reducing the patient's rate of mortality? Now, first make your diagnosis. Drowsy patient with the tense ascites with the upper GI bleeding.
This can be esophageal varices, ma'am.
Yes, patient is having esophageal varices, but which step would reduce the rate of mortality with this picture?
Ma'am, octracoid.
Uh,
Come
yes,
on.
ma'am. You will give octreotide.
Oof. Have you seen? I have said that patient is drowsy with the tense ascites. BP normal, heart rate normal. Why would we think to stop the bleeding first? What is the clue here? Liver cirrhotic patient with the tense ascites, drowsy patient. Yes. You have to rule out what?
Infection control.
Yes.
Infection.
Take
Ceftriaxone,
SPG,
ceftriaxone.
IV ceftriaxone.
Okay,
If
okay.
they mention pressure is low, tachycardic patient, low saturation, go with the option of stop the bleeding and go with the blood transfusion. Even in that case, unstable patient, we would go with the blood transfusion first, stabilize patient first, and then you would go with the upper GI endoscopy.
Ma'am, little bit 2 or 3 point confused us. That it's very critical to
Now look,
choose the
somebody
answer.
is
2 or 3 things.
somebody is drowsy with the bleeding. First thing you would check what? Pressure, pulse. He is vitally stable.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. So in exam, you would be very cautious while solving these things. Look at all things and correlate. A 55-year-old man underwent an open appendectomy for a perforated appendix, presenting to emergency department with the sixth post-op day, complaining of severe abdominal pain, distension, inability to pass the stool. On examination, there is a fecal discharge from the wound site and there is a sign of the peritonitis. BP normal, heart rate high, temperature high, oxygen sat 95, ABGs, bicarb 10, PCO2 4.8 normal, pH is acidic, PO2 is 11, and the base axis is -12. Under ultrasound showing moderate ascites with echoes and the septations. The clue is with febrile patient, tachycardic echo septation in the ultrasound, which is your most important and appropriate management. What is this case? Peritonitis, sign of the peritonitis is there. ABG is disturbed. Tachycardic patient with the febrile. What do you do? 6 post-op day. If they said, what is your next step? Next step has to be CT scan. Next step has to be the CT scan. But asking you, what is the most appropriate management here?
Exploratory. Exploratory
Open the
laparotomy.
patient. Yes. 59-year-old man is admitted to hospital with the infralateral myocardial. Okay, infralateral MI. Which of the following medication would improve his survival?
Beta blocker.
Infralateral MI. Hmm?
Beta blocker.
Beta blocker, excellent. 56-year-old
Metoprolol.
man has a low-pitched diastolic rumble heart heard at the apex, widened pulse pressure, and the grade 3/6 diastolic murmur, which is decrescendo in the characteristic, and at the left sternal border. Diagnosis. Now, first, type of murmur, and then second, look at the location. Left sternal border, diastolic murmur. Decrescendo. Come on. AR, aortic regurgitation.
Aortic regurgitation. Aortic regurgitation.
60-year-old man with the type 2 diabetes presenting to you with the persistent diffuse neck pain for the past hour. Diaphoresis is there, shortness of breath is there, normal troponin, and ECG reveals that only non-specific ST and the T wave changes. Which of the most important next step in the management? Yes, diaphoresis is there, diffuse neck pain and dyspneic patient. Cardiac workup, they said normal. Hmm. Come on. Type 2, diabetic patient, neck pain, jaw pain, diaphoresis, dyspneic patient. Is it an angina? Hmm? What about the option D? Aspirin and NG, this NGCid, sublingual nitroglycerin. Is it the right answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, this is acute coronary syndrome.
Yes, ACS, unstable angina.
Yeah.
A 30-year-old woman presenting to the clinic with the polyarthralgia, malar rash, mucosal ulceration for 2 months, examination revealing active malar rash, arthritis affecting the several joints. She has a positive anti-nuclear antibody, high titer. HB is 10, platelets count low, WBC low, ESR high, urea normal, creatinine high, protein is 1200, complement C3, C4 on the lower side. Which of the following is the best high dose treatment option is there? Let's make your diagnosis. What is this case?
Lupus nephritis.
Lupus
SLE.
nephritis. Very good. And how would we treat that? If you remember, we have a
My
two option.
my
Either the steroid and the
Mofetil.
cyclophosphamide or steroid and mycophenolate, Mofetil. So answer A. Good. 38-year-old man presents with the 4-hour history of the sudden severe abdominal pain. He reports frequent use of the non-steroidal NSAIDs for the joint pain. Examination confirmed a generalized abdominal tenderness and the guarding with the absent bowel sounds. Temperature high, WBC high. Which of the following is the next initial step? Next initial step. Somebody taking the NSAIDs, complaining of the severe abdominal pain, guarding is there, bowel sounds absent. You would suspect?
X-ray abdomen.
Ma'am, X-ray of the erect chest.
Yes,
No, ma'am, no
erect
more.
chest X-ray abdomen to look for the air fluid level and the perforation.
Abdomen.
This one, erect chest X-ray.
Okay.
47-year-old man presents with a 6-month history of the right groin swelling. The swelling recently increasing in the size. Examination revealing an inguinoscrotal swelling with the positive cuff impulse. So it's a hernia. And the separable from the testes. Which of the following is the most likely diagnosis? I have taken the name, sorry. Cuff impulse is there, inguinoscrotal swelling. Indirect inguinal
Hernia.
hernia.
Option
That
D.
will be hernia.
24-month-old baby is presenting with the redness of the hemiscrotum. Examination confirms non-tender redness, edema of the scrotum, which is extending to the both groin areas. Diagnosis. Without any signs of the inflammation. Only the problem is redness and edematous appearance. Very easy question. We have already done. No sign and
No,
symptom of
idiopathic,
idiopathic scrotal edema.
idiopathic,
Yes.
idiopathic scrotal
And
edema.
it would settle on its own. 12-year-old patient presenting with a 4-hour history of the right-sided lower abdominal pain, confirmation, a slightly elevated, tender right testis. Right testis is high, tender. Lie of the testis is horizontal without edema. Which of the following is the most appropriate management? What is this case? Testicular torsion.
Any history of trauma, ma'am? In case of trauma,
If they don't mention, direct clue is there, high testis with horizontal lie, testicular torsion.
torsion.
So, surgical exploration would be the answer. It's a surgical emergency. You can't delay. When assessing an adolescent girl with the body mass index at the 95th percentile for the age and sex, which of the following action should be taken? 95th percentile. It means girls is obese.
Ma'am, low color.
Only low calorie diet would helpful for the girl.
No, ma'am. Exactly, and there will be multiple plan,
Adolescent
I
girl,
think.
yes, you would have you need to involve many nutritionist, gynecologist, and endocrinologist. So
Nutrition.
multidisciplinary plan. A child is brought for a health maintenance checkup. The parent states that the child sits up alone without support, pulls himself into a standing position, exploring around the furniture, crawls without difficulty, grasp object with the thumb and the forefinger. Now you look for the pincer grasp. Uses the repetitive consonants like dada, responds to the sound of his own name. What is this age? One clue is dada. Second clue is grasping the objects with the thumb and the forefinger. Dada.
9 month.
Ma'am, two words. Two words mean 10 months.
10 months. Excellent. Very good. 23-year-old Gravida 2 Para 1 at the 22 weeks of gestation presenting with the complaint of abdomen is larger than the expected age of the gestation. Ultrasound showing the dizygotic twin pregnancy. Which of the following best describing the membrane and the placenta for the dizygotic twin? Very easy. Dizygotic twin. So, mono or dichorionic and diamniotic?
Dizygotic, dichorionic. The last one, D.
Yes, D option, regardless of the gender. Very good. 25-year-old woman has delivered a boy. On inspection of umbilical cord, there is a single artery noted. Which of the following is associated with the birth finding? What is this case, by the way? Single umbilical artery. Yes. What is this case? Come on, single umbilical artery.
Congenital,
Hmm?
most probably in diabetic case. I think diabetic case, but
Gestational diabetes.
this
Yes,
was,
that is the risk factor.
yeah,
But what is this case
yes,
called?
ma'am.
Very good.
Single,
Ma'am, TGA,
Hmm?
transposition of the great vessels.
Is it TGA? Hmm? Can be associated with the TGA. But if it would be a TGA with the single umbilical artery, immediately after birth, the baby would be cynosed. So, with the single artery, it would be associated with which risk factor? Maternal diabetes, gestational diabetes. A 60-year-old man with the chronic history of the heartburn of the several years, presenting with the occasional hematemesis, upper GI endoscopy revealing the intestinal type of metaplasia at the distal part of esophagus. What is this your diagnosis? Heartburns is there, occasional hematemesis, and there is only metaplasia at the distal esophagus.
Option C, ma'am.
Barrett esophagus, very good. That is the change in the lining, mucosal lining, very good. And the cause is reflux of the acid, common one. 62-year-old man presents to the OPD with the recurrent episodes of the sternal chest tightness and the occurs mainly after lifting heavy or doing the heavy physical exertion. He has no chronic medical problem and clinical examination and the baseline ECG is normal. What is your next appropriate step in your diagnosis?
stress ECG exercise test.
Yes, exercise ECG. That would be followed by echo. 28-year-old man presents with the recent onset of the chest pain. Pain is retrosternal, localized, sharp, constant in the intensity. He noticed increasing in severity with the movement. He started active exercise program a week ago. BP normal, heart rate normal, SAT normal. What is your most appropriate next step in the management? Diagnosis is what? Muscular pain. So you will deal it
Yes,
with
ma'am.
the
Muscular pain. Ibuprofen.
ibuprofen. A 9-year-old patient presents with the weakness, fatigue, hypertension in the upper limb. Hypertension, upper limb. Examinations confirm a delayed pulse in the lower extremity, radiofemoral delay. Simple. What is this case?
Rotation of aorta.
Coarctation of aorta. Which of the following congenital heart disease is associated with the low risk factor of infective endocarditis? PDA, VSD, subvalvular aortic stenosis, or ASD? Lowest risk factor, come on. Think about the acyanotic heart diseases. ASD, ostium secundum. Which of the following is the component of the TOF, tetralogy of Fallot?